Mr. Speaker, we have good and bad days down here in the General Assembly. Yesterday was one of those really good days. And the reason it was a really good day is because we deal with the most important thing that we do down here that probably affects every Virginian, and that is our two-year budget. And the reason it was a good day was because we had very civil discourse. People got a chance to air their feelings on both sides. And the bill passed with 79 out of 100 votes. And I want to personally thank the one-third of the folks on the other side of the aisle that supported the bill. But I also want to thank even those that opposed the bill. Because as the minority leader said, and I think I have him mainly right, that the other side was given ample opportunity to give their input. They were given ample opportunity to discuss the budget. He even said that at least it's a roadmap to sort of get to where we want to go. The gentleman from Fairfax, Mr. Sickles, said in the paper, as only he could say it, I think the no votes were not super hard no votes. And in fairness to him, he went on to say that his biggest problem was the issue of transportation in the budget. But let me go on to say and talk about why was this budget so good. It's because it helps all the people that we care so much about, from our police and sheriffs to make our communities safe, to our teachers, our college students, our K-12 kids, all 1.2 million of them, and of course those that are helped by the health care safety net, and especially I think the folks that are really near and dear to our heart, those with intellectual disabilities. And let me quickly once again give you some highlights of the budget because it is the most important thing we do. In K-12, $156 million more in spending than the base budget. Inflation update, K-3 class size reduction. My favorite, early reading intervention, because as a high school teacher, that is absolutely crucial to the success of students. And then yesterday, Delegate Greeson offered the floor amendment that dealt partially with a pretty important issue I know for a lot of you in Northern Virginia and other areas, and that's cost of competing. Higher education, I've had the privilege to chair that subcommittee over the last 2 years. $200 million more for higher education, but it's more than the money. It is the accountability that was built into that particular piece. I ran to a college president Wednesday night, and I heard something I thought I would never hear. He said, this is the best budget I've seen in the last 10 years for higher ed. And why is that so? The governor laid out a vision of 100,000 new degrees. This budget makes substantial progress towards that. I know Delegate Hugo has had and Delegate Albo has talked so much about access for our Virginia kids to college, and that's what we're all about. 1,400 new slots, substantial progress towards those new slots. We put the money for those for UVA, William & Mary, Tech, and James Madison. That doesn't work for all universities. One of our goals has got to be retention. It's got to be helping our students get through college, get a degree on time, and that will lower their debt. We have retention money in here. And finally, make college affordable for every kid, and that's the goal. And this money is going to keep tuition, in Kirk Cox's world, down to 2 to 3% this year. So that is a goal that we have not seen in a long time. Let me shift quickly to health care. The health care safety net, I know, was a big concern on both sides of the aisle. $6.2 million to restore funding for free clinics. We also did funding for our hospitals, for our nursing homes. And of course, we've talked about this, those 200 ID and 50 DD waivers. Public safety, which Delegate Sherwood does such a great job on. What public safety comes down to is safer communities. And that probably, we talk a lot about core function of government. It's nothing more core than that. Bills such as 5-year minimum mandatory sentences for repeat drug dealers. You've got to fund those in the budget. This budget fund those. Sheriffs, which are absolutely essential to public safety, $7.4 million and a 2% pay increase. And our state police in the underlying budget, we fill 40 vacant positions, and 43-person sexual predator surveillance unit is created. Our farmers, certainly dear to the heart of so many of us in here, agribusiness and, of course, the whole farming community does so much for our economy. Doug Atlantis putting together, of course, I think a key bill, sort of the Governor's Opportunity Fund for Agriculture, that will really help in that area. Soil and water conservation districts, small item, couldn't be more important if you want to get your best management practices on the ground. And I could go on. And let me comment very quickly on the other side of the Capitol, their budget. Of course, I like mine a lot better, like ours a lot better. But what I find interesting about that one is they chose not to do the transportation fund. I fundamentally don't agree with that stand, but I know it's a stand that a lot of folks on the other side of the aisle take. And so if you sort of think of it from your perspective, I guess that Senate budget is pretty ideal. So what's my message? We need a budget, and we need a budget now. We've got 15 days left to do the most important thing this House does. The Speaker just named the conferees. And I can tell you the conferees are ready to go to work, and a lot of the rest of you that want to be conferees are ready to go to work too. But this is day one of our opportunity to get a budget. And let me conclude with this. To my friends across the aisle, please join with us and continue working with us to help make sure the Democrats and the other body come to their senses and understand that we need to finish the #1 job we were all sent in Richmond to do, adopting a new state budget before the end of the session. We owe it to all Virginians, our teachers, our tuition-paying parents, our public safety workers, not to jeopardize their future, their livelihood, and their quality of life by not getting to work now to pass a budget. We owe it to them and all Virginians not to harm, but to help families, workers, businesses, when they're already struggling enough with anxiety about the economy and our future. And we owe it to them and all Virginians not to let some put partisan politics ahead of doing what's best for all Virginians, which first and foremost means passing the session's most important bill, the state budget. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.